through and through. Oh, the Toon Review. Laughs and passion, football too. We are the Toon Review. By the fans, for the fans, through and through. Laughs and passion, football too. We are the Toon Review. 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 Go!
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review for tonight's match review as Newcastle United slump to a 2-1 defeat at the Amex Stadium. Unfortunately for us, we come back once again from Brighton with absolutely nothing. We'll have a look at the game. We'll hear from Eddie Howe, and we'll hear from Nick Voltemada as well, speaking to NUFC TV after the game. And we will also do our player ratings. And that means that I am joined tonight by the one and only Mr. Trey. Good evening, Billy.
Good evening, and good evening to all the Toon Review Massive, the Magpie Massive, and the rest of you outstanding, superb, magnanimous people out there in Viewerland.
Now, we must say, yet another defeat for Liverpool. And yet another game goes by where the Rat doesn't score. Our Nick Voltemada looks like a hell of a bargain right now. Keep the receipt, did you, Liverpool?
We don't want him back, don't we, about that?
No, not now. No. He's well and truly bread and buttered. Just turning my mic up a little bit. Some people say I'm a bit quiet, but there you go. I should be okay now, guys. But Billy, look, started the same team yesterday. I was a little surprised because we are going to have to talk a little bit about Joelinton today because I've seen maybe a lot of other channels agreeing that maybe Big Joe shouldn't have started the game, especially with what went on, with his flight travel and stuff like that. I'm not making an excuse for that because I don't think Joelinton's played very well this season. If I'm openly honest, Billy, the Carabao Cup game where he got a couple of goals, yes, he was okay. However, I generally think that the guy's out of form at the minute, and we have to address that. It's as much as we don't, but he just it doesn't seem right.
To me, he's had one good game this season. That was against Bradford in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
And if you can't play well against a League Two side, when you're an international footballer, when can you play well? Mm-hmm. There's something not quite right with him, whether it's fitness, whether it's worry of getting injured again and getting towards the back end of his career and not being able to get back in the side and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But something isn't right about him. He just doesn't look the player he was. It just doesn't. We used to depend on him to bully himself around the pitch, be all over the place, and get into attacking positions too. Don't see it happening much now. For the first 5 minutes yesterday, he did, and then he just fell off a cliff, didn't it?
Just disappeared. Well, the whole team did, to be fair.
That is true.
The problem is, and I mentioned this in my reaction video, Billy. I think if Joelinton is not at 100%, right, fitness wise, we don't get anything out of him as far as I'm concerned. He plays a game where he needs to be 100%. But if he is 100%, he's out of form, then surely Eddie's got to turn around and say, right, enough, we can't start him. It's a risk starting him. And, Benfica on Tuesday night is a big game in the Champions League because if we can win that game, it puts us in a very, very good position. And we need to get the team right, first of all. Look, a lot of people are saying international break, has that been an issue? I guess so. The players have had to travel, but the whole Premier League suffers this problem, with players going around the world. So we can't make that as an excuse because it's the same for everybody.
Well, yeah, of course it is. And today we've seen Slot not play Wirtz. He's had 2 international games. Casemiro was dragged off early as well. The teams are kind of dealing with it, and we're not.
Yeah.
And especially with Joelinton having to come halfway back again and then back out again. There's a lot of flight time, and it's not good on the old body, is it? It's and the form he's been in, and with the players we've got to play in that position as well, I'm surprised he weren't on the bench because we've got Jacob Ramsey, we've got Lewis Miley, who generally doesn't play well in that position, but did yesterday.
Well, I thought Miley played well when he came on, Billy. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
obviously the second half, he was a lot more effective than Joe Linton was.
No, much more, much more.
And look, there's another player that we're coming on to in just a second because we'll get the. I mean, look, that first 10 minutes yesterday, Billy, we went out, we gave them problems, we rattled them, and but again, we didn't really test Verbruggen in the goal, but we were passing it around nicely. It looked like we'd really surprised Brighton, but then Brighton came back into the game after that 10 minutes and absolutely dominated the rest of the half.
Well, we should have scored. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
You know, he manufactured his chance fantastically well, but then was a bit casual with the finish and just put it wide. But he should have scored, really, for me. And like you say, after that, Brighton got a bit of momentum and they started to dominate the midfield. But Believer was outstanding there. I thought Rutter played really well too. Minte had burn on toast most of the first half, virtually all of it, in fact. And it was only down to fantastic defending from Malik Chow and some good keeper from Nick Pope, who kept us in the game, really.
I mean, that's saved by Nick Pope. I mean, it was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Diving to his left, tipping it round the post. Was a great save, and Nick Pope for me continues his good form, Billy. I mean, he's playing really well for us right now, so we need to shout that out definitely. But it was the way that this has been a problem in the past, Billy, and we mentioned it again on the live commentary yesterday, that for some reason teams can work us out very quickly and pass right through the middle of us without any problem at all. And I've seen a couple of stills today from various breaks that Brighton had, including the goal in the first half, where their centre-backs were just bringing it out and passing right through our midfield. Yep. They were then getting the ball, their midfielders, and they were able to turn and run straight at our back four. And we were all over the place, and it's happened before. Now, Tonali, for me, he wasn't at the races yesterday. No, but the stills that I kept looking at, it saw the three Newcastle United midfielders, Joe Linton, Bruno, and Tonali, all in a line, and 2 or 3 yards behind where the ball was after Brighton had passed through us, and it happened so many times, and eventually it happens again, and Danny Welbeck, I mean, I don't know how many goals he's got against Newcastle, this guy, but obviously he saw there was a gap there between our centre-backs. It was a great ball through to him, to be fair, and he just stabs it in the net, but we're getting caught too many times.
Add to that, you've got both centre-halves who've got an eye on their respective fullbacks.
Absolutely.
To the right and left of them.
Yeah.
So they're not fully committed to being central. And that leaves Moses could drive through it on his, it's that wide, the gap.
Part of the Red Sea, wasn't it? It was
absolutely was, and great finish from Welbeck, but really poor. Tonali generally sits in there and provides some kind of a block.
Yeah, I think that's what. Yeah, it's easier to say it sort of 24 hours after the game, which is why we do these reviews 24 after. Yeah, we'll give you our instant reactions, but when we look back at the game itself, we had a look at it, and I don't think Botman and Chow were, they're not used to that happening because they're not used to looking in front of them and not seeing someone there, either a Tonali or a Bruno, in that position just to counteract that, the break through the middle. We didn't get that yesterday. But it was, I mean, Botman and Chow looked at each other after the goal as if to say, well, I thought you had him or I thought you had him. I'm not putting any blame on them. I'm not. I can't. It was the lack of something in front of them. The
second goal for me was the killer, and I'll put that down to Sven Botman. I'm afraid Dan Burn's got the situation covered. It's his part of the pitch, and it's a symptom of Sven Botman having to babysit for Dan Burn and put fires out. He goes across thinking that Dan Burn isn't going to make the tackle.
Yeah,
Dan Burn does make it, and then there's a massive space where Sven Botman should be for Danny Welbeck to blast his shot in.
But who's tracking Welbeck, Billy? This is the thing.
He's a striker. He's a centre forward. It's Botman's man.
But he's sitting on the edge of the box in the D, completely unmarked. There's no midfielders there, though. And this is again where we're quite used to seeing Tonali or Bruno or Miley when he's on the pitch. We're used to seeing them sweep up that or cover the defenders like that, and there wasn't anybody there. it's clear to me, and I agree with C15 there, that we are missing our fullbacks massively. Listen, Trippier wasn't that bad yesterday. Trippier he wasn't an issue. I don't think Dan Burn was that bad either, but he's not a left back. We've said it a million times. Minte did do him a couple of times, but on the whole, it's going forward because we're missing the overlapping fullbacks. We're missing the pace. We're missing their ability to cross the ball. You know, Trippier tried a couple of crosses yesterday in the first half, especially. Didn't really work. I think there was one right at the end where Voltemade headed over the bar from a free kick, but that was about it. You know, we're missing those overlapping fullbacks, and that's affecting us going forward as well. But to be honest, I mean, we have to talk about Anthony Elanga as well because, I mean, look, I've said that it's too early to judge him yet. I guess I'll still stand by that, but he's got to do better. He's got to do better. He's been okay in the Champions League, but Premier League, he's anonymous. And you know, a lot of people picked up on that yesterday when we had that break, Billy, and some people said he stopped and turned back that we're at the game. If they watch it again, he didn't. He just missed. He forgot to take the ball. It's not like he turned back. He had to turn back because he didn't control the ball and put it in front of him. So it wasn't like he turned back, but he was poor.
I thought he lost confidence. If he'd have gone full pace with the ball at his feet, he'd have got into the box and maybe got a shot off. But I believe that he with the lack of confidence he started looking for passes and totally lost control of the ball, left it behind him.
Yeah,
he's a winger that is suited to counter-attacking football. And if we don't play counter-attacking football, he's no good for us. He really isn't. Unless he's going to learn to play the Newcastle United way, in which case every other player that's been signed by Eddie Howe has had to wait till they can.
Well, Murphy came on at half-time and did more in the first 5-10 minutes of that half than Elanga did the full game. I mean, the problem is that Jacob Murphy isn't exactly consistent either, is he?
No, he's not.
You know, we say every time we say, "Oh, Murphy should come in," and then Murphy starts, he looks a bit off, and then when both of them are coming on as substitutes and making decent impacts, but we need one of them to start the game and make an impact.
I don't think Jacob Murphy's had a game as bad as that yesterday. No,
I mean, don't either.
Even at his very worst, he creates at least one chance a game. Anthony Lang yesterday was absolutely awful. Absolutely, I'm sorry, he was absolutely awful. Yeah. And I'm thinking £55 million. God, I wouldn't pay a tenth of that for him at the minute. He's bloody awful. Yeah, he's all pace and nothing else. No confidence in him, and he's mentally not right either. We saw that with what happened in the international break when he got caught talking about Thomason, which obviously was quite right to do so, but getting caught doing it. Yeah, and obviously there's something not right in his head at the minute. I think he needs to sit back for a few weeks and just get himself right. He needs to be trained properly so he can play in the system we play. There's no good in playing in front of Kieran Trippier because Kieran Trippier isn't a hit the corners type fullback. He's way more cultured than that. He wants to play the ball short and then get it back and then play it round and triangle things. That's not Anthony Langa's game. He wants to hit the corners and let him run in behind.
Eric says J7 needs to be on the bench going forward. He's fallen off a cliff and has hurt us more than helped in every game this season. I mean, look, it is kind of sad that we're having to say this about Joe, but we have to be honest. You know, he isn't playing well. And, you know, it comes a time where now we do have men on the bench that can come in. You know, Ramsey came on yesterday and I thought did very well as well. Really got us going forward, driving us forward. Miley was solid again. So there is players there that can come on and do a job. Very different to Joe Linton's game, of course, because we do lose the physicality. But right now, Billy, there is no physicality there. No.
And you talk about that save that Nick Boat made. That all came from an absolute dreadful pass that Joe Linton played from the left-hand side back into the centre of our defence to a Brighton player. Absolute madness. Yeah. I'm not saying Joe Linton's finished because I don't think he is. I think he can be a fantastic player again. He just needs to get himself right physically, maybe mentally too. I don't know.
Yeah. Ab says, Murphy, Elanga, do not fill me with confidence. Always thought of Murphy as a championship player before his heroics last season. Barnes on the other side is ineffective. Gordon not productive enough. Well, listen, Eddie made a point of that yesterday, but I think we'd already made that point for him. And when I say we, I mean all Newcastle United fans. We cannot keep relying on Nick Voltemade to keep pulling us out the shit.
Yeah.
It's very early in his career at Newcastle United, and already we are relying on him pulling a worldie out to get goals for us. It's about time that other players in this team started chipping in with goals, because we're not seeing it right now. I mean, look, Voltemade's goal, Billy, just an incredible piece of improvisation again, a wonderful goal. But that was what was going to happen yesterday. It was going to have to be some kind of worldie to get us back in the game.
Well, he'd hardly been in the game before that. I thought that the Brighton centre-backs marshalled him fantastically. I thought the way they played him was Van Heck right top, his backside.
But it's not the sign of a brilliant forward, though, Billy, when he's quiet the whole game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then if he did get past the way, went over his head, and Lewis Dunk was there to head it away. But like you say, he's a constant threat. You can't rest for a minute against him, because he will do something like what he did yesterday, which was an absolutely fantastic bit of skill. Like you say, great improvisation, great imagination, and the perfect finish. And didn't deserve to be on. That goal doesn't deserve to be on the losing side of a 2-1 defeat, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, look, the precision of that finish to do what he did, but put it completely out of the goalkeeper's reach as well. The Brighton defenders weren't expecting it, never mind the goalkeeper, but the fact that he put it right in the corner was just absolutely superb. And, again, I'll say it. I said in the commentary that there was only one team looking like winning that game after we scored, and it was Newcastle. 30 seconds later, Brighton go up the other end and score. I mean, talk about commentators' curse. But I will stand by with what I said. We looked like the team that was going to do the business and come away with the 3 points. But did we really make Verbruggen work very hard? I'm not sure we did. We had a chance at the end with, Harvey Barnes. I mean, should he have crossed it? Should he have had a shot? I don't know.
Yes, should have crossed it. Absolutely should have.
And it's frustrating again. Dan Burn completely miskicks it when the flick on by Chow. Dan Burn, come on, man. You've got to put them away. And I think this is what Eddie's alluding to, as the other players, doesn't matter what position they play, but when they get opportunities like that, we have to put them away. Bruno's in the first half. Brilliant bit of skill to just delay the shot. And then, but really, from that, looking back on it, Billy, from that distance, you've got to hit the target from there.
Trying to be too precise, I think. Yeah, just trying to nestle it in the bottom corner when, he should have scored. There's no doubt about that. I think Dan Burn should have scored. There was an occasion after they'd scored the second that even Big Nick had a bit of a panic stations in the box where he swung at it. But the fact of the matter was, every time we did have a shot in their box, the Brighton defence were diving and doing anything to block them. They had an outstanding game in the back. Van Heck was superb yesterday. I mean, I know we've had a go at him in the past, but he was linked with Newcastle at one stage in the summer, and we were all for that transfer if that was going to happen. Obviously didn't, but I tell you something. You have to agree with Eddie and say that we have to see more from other players, and the chances are not being put away. The chances are not really being created. I mean, you look at the first half yesterday. After the first 10 minutes, Brighton were just dominant. Pope makes a few good saves. We're going 1-0 down. We get back in the game, and then we sucker punched at the end. But the chances that you've got to put them away, and it doesn't matter what position you're playing in. Now, let's hear from Eddie Howe, shall we, Billy? After the game. Just bear with us because I need to share the old screen here first, and then I'm trying to remember how to do this, Billy. There you go. Right. X, there we go. Share. Right. Okay, make the screen big. So this is what Eddie Howe had to say after the game yesterday.
Yeah, tough result for us. I don't think we played well. For probably half an hour of that first half. I thought we started brightly, and then I was really disappointed with the half an hour to half time. Much better in the second half, but we've paid the price really, I think, for that period in the first period.
What were the main disappointments? What was it that didn't click?
I think we were poor on the ball, so that we ended up being in transition an awful lot in that first half. And that was against a really good start where we looked like we could really hurt hurt them, but we ended up hurting ourselves, and we had to defend some difficult moments in that first half, and probably deservedly went in behind.
A lot of travelling for the players during the days preceding the game. How big a factor do you think that could have been on the performance?
Yeah, of course that will affect individuals. I mean, there's no denying that, but that will be the same for Brighton. They'd have had players, no doubt, here, there and everywhere themselves. So it's the ability to come together as a group and to find that spark even when you're tired. Because we definitely improved in that second half, and we would arguably be more fatigued in the second period, but it was a much better display from us. We were much braver with the ball, much better with the ball, and arguably end up on a defeat when I think that's quite harsh on us in the end.
Now, Billy, he says they're quite harsh on us at the end. Yes, it was harsh, but I think on the balance of the whole game, I'm not sure that we did deserve anything. Maybe a point, but at the same time, Brighton kept going. I'm glad that he sort of, when he was asked the question about the international break, I'm glad he said what he said, that it's the same for Brighton. He didn't make excuses on that, because I think if he had it done, that wouldn't have been right for me. It was the same for Brighton. It's the same for every Premier League team. It's about coming together as a team when things aren't going right, which we did second half. We came back. But what did you make of his comments there?
I couldn't agree more with all of them. I think he basically said exactly what we said, that we started well and then we had a terrible back before half-time and did better second half. Yeah, I think it's not hard to say. It was obvious. But like you said, and like we've all said, we didn't make their goalkeeper work enough. Despite having a higher XG than Brighton in the end. Yeah. Their goalkeeper could have played a goal from, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? And we keep saying that. We've said that a few times this season regarding the chances, regarding, getting opportunities on the opposition goalkeeper. And it doesn't matter how well you play in that on the field. If you're passing it around and doing stuff, etc., etc. But on the other hand, if you're not creating opportunities to test the goalkeeper, Billy, you're not going to score goals. And we are, I mean, we're not good away from home right now.
And we are getting in the positions and we're just not getting the shots on target, which tells you either, I mean, Nick Voltemada scores every week, so it's not his fault, clearly. But there's no goals from anyone else on the pitch, is there really? Yeah. Unless we get a worldie from Sandro from 20 yards or Bruno from 20 yards. We get nothing from the flanks. And nothing from the other midfield players. So it's going to be hard for us. And set pieces, again, we don't get anything from them either, really, do we? So,
well, I mean, look...
I know we were right yesterday, by the way. I'm not slagging the set pieces. I thought they were really good yesterday.
Yeah, we did have a couple of opportunities. But again, it's finishing them off. We saw Botman have an effort. Chow had an effort. Good headed opportunities from set pieces. And they put them wide. We've got to be more clinical in that situation. Now, Nick Voltemada also spoke to NUFC TV regarding the game yesterday. So let's listen to what Big Nick has to say about the defeat.
Yeah, I think we created a lot of chances in the second half, and I think everybody in the stadium feels the energy what we had in the second half, and need to keep working on this energy that we have at every game, every situation, and I think then we're a really, really good team, and then we can win also games away.
And for you, 5 goals already now for Newcastle. You've just scored your first goal for Germany in midweek as well. How much confidence are you playing with right now?
Yeah, a lot, to be honest. But yeah, I'm really happy to be here. I'm really happy to come back always to Newcastle. And the coach and manager and my teammates just give me a really good feeling on the pitch. And I guess you can see it. So yeah, I'm really, really, really happy to be here. Yeah, I think we created.
So a pretty positive Nick Voltemada there, Billy, and saying he's happy, etc., etc. At least he's buzzing now, full of confidence, and really probably expecting to score every time. But we've got to do something to get him in the game more because of what he can do. It's not like he's not playing very well. We're not getting him in the game, and I think that's what Eddie Howe's biggest problem is trying to get him involved in the game more, where he is able to do things in the opposition box that nobody expects him to.
What Nick said there and what he's thinking in his head, I think are two completely different things, if I'm perfectly honest. Yeah. I think he looked a forlorn figure most of the game yesterday. I don't think he got any service. It's got to the point where we're just hoofing up in the air to him at times and hoping he can do something with it. I'll have Steve Bruce tactics, if you like. We're not giving him the ball on the floor anywhere near as much. He's having to drop deeper and deeper and deeper to receive it, which is okay and now and again, but constantly doing that, and he's not going to get the pace to get up front. We're not using him right at the minute, and even despite that, he's still scoring goals. So I don't know. I think if we can use his full capacity, then he's going to score even more goals.
Yeah, I do.
I think he's frustrated yesterday. I do, honestly.
Yeah, undoubtedly, because you're playing up there and the ball's just not coming to you. And then, like you say, pumping the ball long for him, he's come on, give him options. But the times that he did have options, Billy, and we saw it in the against USG in the Champions League, where the wingers were staying wide and he was able to play it out wide when he was bringing the ball down. But time and time again, especially in that first half yesterday, he was turning out to the right-hand side, and Elanga had come over to the left. And Gordon was already there. Why are we playing with two left wingers? It made no sense.
I don't know. To be honest, what Anthony Elanga did yesterday for the whole of the time he was on, I didn't understand what he was doing, to be honest. He was that bad.
Now, I'm seeing some people still having to go at Anthony Gordon. I'm confused by this, I have to say, because I thought he was our biggest threat yesterday. I thought he was really good getting to the byline, getting some crosses in. He came inside a few times. He had a couple of shots. I don't know what Gordon's got to do anymore, basically, because, as a winger, he's getting to the byline. He's putting crosses in. It's up to the rest of them to get their asses in the box to get on the end of them. He
was our biggest threat yesterday, but however, it's not a very high bar to jump over, is it? Let's be honest.
No.
And when you compare him to Anthony Elanga on the other side, I was surprised he came off, to be honest. But again, no assists, no goals. He scored goals for England, and of course he's got assists and stuff, and he's played well of late. And he did play well. Yeah, he was bright yesterday. He was absolutely very bright. No doubt about that.
Well, LG clearly disappointed. He said he did nothing, Paul. Sorry. Well, I disagree.
Well, I think he had that right fullback on toast.
He had on toast in the first half.
Yeah.
So I just think people have kind of made their mind up on Gordon. I don't know why, but that seems to be the problem. All of our threat was down, especially in the first half yesterday, was down the left-hand side with Gordon. And there was nothing coming from the right. But again, it's a low bar, Billy. We're not talking like Gordon was sensational yesterday.
Clearly not.
He was good, but like you say, the bar is not very high for yesterday, especially in the first half. And I'm just, I have to say, I am a little bit worried because we didn't change, Billy. And what I mean by that is, so many times, and we spoke about earlier in the show, cutting right through the middle of us, yet we don't adjust anything.
No.
And that's the biggest problem for me, that we don't adjust in-game.
Their midfield dominated ours. Baliba was phenomenal yesterday. Jorginho...
Well, it was unbelievable, Billy.
And had more legs. He had more legs than us. And
yeah, you didn't pick that joke up, did you?
I did, yeah. I treated it with the contempt it deserved.
Thank you very much. I love you so much.
Tonali just wasn't on case yesterday. That was his worst game.
Yeah.
Probably since the time we played at Brighton before when Ferguson got after it. When that was probably his worst game for Newcastle, full stop.
Yeah. They have to improve. There's a lot of games coming up on a very, very consistent basis in the next few weeks. And we've got to keep at it. We can't just have good spells here and there. We've got to be at it. Benfica will have probably looked at, Jose will watch that Brighton game and think, yeah, I know where we can exploit Newcastle. And I think everybody knows where managers can exploit Newcastle at the minute. But if he's seeing gaps between the back four and the midfield, he will put somebody in there. He will utilise that. He's not a stupid man. But we just don't seem to be wanting to change it. Why is that? Why does it happen time after time after time and we don't do anything in-game to stop it?
We seem yesterday to have a complete lack of leadership all over the pitch, I've got to say.
Yeah.
If you're playing centre-half and seeing them gaps in front, you've got to call someone in to block it. Sandro, stand central, please. Be vociferous with it. Unbelievable. Yeah, it wasn't a case of doing it once or twice. It was happening time and time again, wasn't it? First half.
It was, yeah, which was a big, big worry. I like coffee. Says the gap between the midfield and defence hurt us for the goals. Eric says Voltemada wants to drop in and have the wingers in midfield run past him and link up play, not playing to his abilities and strengths. And Chipper says, I want to know what our game plan is. Is it to win games, stay in games, get a draw? I have no idea. Well, I mean, look, if you're asking me about the first 10 minutes yesterday, it looked like there was only one thing on our mind, to go and shut the crowd up and win the game and win it convincingly. And then all of a sudden, after that, I don't know what the game plan was, because we just gave the ball back to Brighton all the time and let them come on to us numerous times.
And that's a never-ending story, though. That happens every single game, especially away from home, where we tend to start off really well and then fade off quite quickly. It seems if we don't get an early goal, we're knackered. We run out of imagination, creativity, ideas, and the team we're playing against get confidence, of course, and then we look at as dog shit as we were first half. At least this week we did kind of change things at half time, and quite rightly too, and we did look better second half. But still, these first half performances are a bit concerning for me, I have to say, away from home.
Well, because I mean, look, there's winnable games coming up, right? And I'll say winnable, sort of tongue in cheek, because I don't think we have the right to say that at the moment, that any game is winnable. Every football match we go out there is winnable, right? Doesn't matter who we play, they are winnable games. But if we play like that in the first half against certain teams, we'll be out of it by half-time and we won't have an opportunity to get back in it.
I agree, but those certain teams that you'd think that are generally the ones we could turn it on for.
Well,
it's odd, isn't it? You know, the Liverpools, the Man Cities, etc.
It's weird.
Arsenal, etc. We kind of look up for it for more again than what we do when we're playing a Wolves or a Forest or
I agree with that.
I guess.
Absolutely.
And Fulham will be the same next week. We should be really mad to get a Fulham because they beat us twice last season. We need some revenge over them, but I bet we don't. I bet we were in that kind of it's Fulham.
Yeah, well, I hope not, because I hope we've learned lessons from that kind of attitude. Because it doesn't work, does it? I mean, we go out with that attitude, we don't get going at all. Eric says, I've said it before, we are one, if not most, predictable teams in the Premier League. And Stephen Young says, Gordon will be effective with a proper fullback.
Yes,
I agree with that. But so will Elanga. Believe it or not, I think Elanga misses having Livramento overlapping him, because they can overlap each other and cause all sorts of problems. Trippier does not do that very often. He will hang back, as we've seen, and the ball gets passed back to him. He'll square it to Tonali or Bruno or whoever's there and create a triangle. You don't see Kieran Trippier really a lot of the time overlapping the winger and whipping in a cross. He did it a couple of times in the first half, and after that, he didn't. And it's frustrating. Guys, just to let you know that we do have obviously a merchandise store, which is the toonreview.com. You don't have to remember the link now, because all you need to do is basically get your phone camera and take a picture of that QR code in the top left-hand corner, and it will take you straight to the website. Just put your phone over it, and it'll say go to whatever browser that you use, and it will take you straight to the toonreview.com, where there's t-shirts, hoodies, hats, drinks bottles, etc. on there. Thank you to those people that have ordered over the last couple of days, and of course the orders are made to order and will be sent out within 3 to 5 days from our supplier. So I'll leave that QR code on the screen for a while to let you get your phones, click it, and go and have a look at the website, and hopefully you might order something to support the channel or for a loved one who watches often. So thank you very much for that. Just click the QR code and away you go. Now, it is time for the player ratings, Billy.
Match Thursday, Paul.
Yes, it is. Well remembered. Stephen Young is also a new member of the channel. Thank you very much, Stephen. Welcome to Members Club, my friend. Right, so we've got 2 each.
We've got 5-4 players.
Yeah. Okay. Right, you go first, then, matey.
For the goal alone, I'm going to go Voltemada.
I'm going to put Nick Pope in there, Billy, because I think he played really well yesterday.
Yeah, fair enough.
Who's your second one?
Malik Chow.
Yeah, he was superb yesterday, wasn't he? Hell, now it's tough. I don't think there's anybody else we can put on there.
It's really tough, the other one.
Julie J says the QR code works. I've just tried it. Yeah, it definitely works. Tried it before the show. Oh, bloody hell. I mean, fucking hell, this is difficult. Chipper says Lewis Hall. Do you know what? He only played 45 minutes, but I thought Jacob Murphy was really good yesterday. So I'll put him in, Billy.
Yeah. I mean, I would have gone Miley personally, but...
Miley? Okay, I'll change it to Miley. I actually agree with you.
With
There you go. Yeah, he did get an assist, absolutely. There you go. There is it Voltemada, Pope, Chow, or Miley for your man of the match yesterday? Get voting, and we will revisit that at the end of the show. And see who you guys have put. Right, let's start with the player ratings, Billy. Nick Pope.
Well, without Nick Pope and goal yesterday, I think we could have been on the end of quite a hefty defeat. I mean, he sweeper kept really well. You know, in the second half, there was three of them against nobody, and Nick Pope was alive to the fact that it could have happened, and he was clearing the ball from the edge of the centre circle. So
yeah,
his concentration was great, saves were great, couldn't do anything about the goals. Come out and collected crosses, corners, etc. Distribution didn't seem to be too bad either. He's worth a 7.5 of anyone's money.
Yeah, I've scored him 7.5 as well, Billy. I thought, you know what I was really impressed with Nick Pope as well was the size of their centre backs, etc. For their corners and set pieces. He came out and he punched well and he caught the ball well. You know, and he didn't release the ball too soon. He seemed to be a lot more stable, shall we say, with the ball yesterday. There was no erratic kicking from him. I thought he was much, much better. And he's looking very good at the moment, Nick Pope, to give him credit. You know, we've all banged on about Nick Pope sort of having a few games and then disappearing. It doesn't look like that's about to happen. And credit to him. You know, he knows he's under pressure. He knows there's somebody else that can come in. And he's doing it for me. So no problem at all. We've got Ronan with a super chat. As a winger, you're measured on end product and goals and assists. Anthony Gordon may run hard and work hard, but no end product. When he starts delivering, opinions will change. Well, Ronan, I get that, okay? I do get that. However, you talk about goals and assists, but if Anthony Gordon's to get assists, somebody needs to get their arse on the end of the crosses that he's putting in. Because he put 2 or 3 brilliant crosses in the first half yesterday, and there's nobody there apart from Voltemada making his way into the box. But where's your midfielders coming in? Where's the runners to come in at the back post or coming through the penalty spot? Anthony Gordon can only put the ball in the box, and then it's up to somebody else to get on the end of it, and they're not. But I do. Yes, we need goals from him. I'll agree with you 100% on that. But if Gordon's putting crosses in, somebody's got to get on the end, Billy, surely.
I agree. I mean, he went past that fullback, both on the inside and the outside, virtually every time he had it in, as far as I can see. He got to the byline 3 or 4 times yesterday and got crosses in.
Yeah.
He was really bright yesterday in an attacking sense, but again, the figures all say no goals, no assists.
Yeah, well, yeah, it will. Ronan with another super chat saying this has been going on since the turn of the year in the league for this so-called 60 to 90 million pound valued player. Clearly not a fan of Anthony Gordon. I get that. Fair enough. People are going to have very, very different opinions. What about Kieran Trippier then, Billy?
Yeah, I thought he was solid enough. I don't think there was that much traffic coming down his side of the pitch. And I'm guessing that's because the other side was quite easy for opposing teams, and Brighton certainly did, to target. So, yeah, his ball distribution was pretty good. His set pieces were very good yesterday, I thought. Yeah. But I'll give him a 6.5.
6.5. I've gone for a 7, Billy. I thought he was okay yesterday, Trips. I don't think there was anything drastically wrong. I thought his set pieces were a lot better. The corners, you know, it's much better. I mean, how many times have we said that about Trippier's set pieces? And they did get on the end of some of them, but unfortunately didn't convert them. Shamrock says, I disagree, Paul. Aimless crosses into the box isn't an excuse. He needs to pick his man out. So by that logic, Voltemade is to blame.
No, it isn't, because if you're getting to the byline at full pelt, you haven't got time to look up and place it. You've got to put it in an area. And generally, he does that.
Yeah. I mean, yes, I do agree, Shamrock, but sometimes, get your head up. If you've got time to do that and pick your cross out. But I'm not blaming Voltemade because, we had nobody else coming into the box yesterday. The crosses were coming in and there was nothing there. But, again, it's opinions, and I think it's a little bit of everything, to be honest. Dan Burn, Billy.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear. We all know it's not Dan Burn's fault. We all know that he shouldn't be playing left back, especially in this day and age. But some of the things that, Stato pointed this out to me yesterday on the Patreon podcast, that out of 5 aerial duels, he won 1. Now, that ain't good enough. I saw him myself lose heading battles against Minte a couple of times. And there was one later in the game that was I don't even know who it was, but he looked about 4 for 8 and he got beat in the air by him.
Yeah, I remember you saying that was in the second half, though, wasn't it?
It was shocking.
Yeah,
I don't blame him for the second goal because I thought he did well to get to the tackle. It just unfortunately it fell to Welbeck. But it is a symptom of the fact that Dan Burn is having to be babysat by either Sven Botman or whoever's in front of him. And I think Sven Botman certainly was depending on Dan Burn not making that tackle. Yeah. And that's why he got himself out of position. Yeah. So it's Sven Botman's fault, but it's a symptom of Dan Burn playing. Probably put the best cross of the game in, to be honest, as well. He should have scored.
Well, yeah, it was a brilliant ball.
And he should have scored. So,
well, yeah, Chow was on the end of that cross, wasn't he? But
I'm going to give him a 4.
4. That's what I've gone for as well. And it's not his fault. Look, he did some decent things in that game yesterday. But he should have scored. He just swung his right boot at it, completely missed the ball. The cross was excellent that he put in. Some people said that he put too much pace on it, but I disagree with that. I think you've got to put pace on a cross like that. But it was just unfortunate that it was Malik Chow still in the box on the end of it rather than a striker. But you know what? We know what Dan Burn's limitations are at left back, and we can only score off what we see. It seems like a lot of you agree with that as well. He's getting 4s and 5s. And it's a shame. It's a shame. But he will continue to play there as long as he's needed, and he'll continue to put 100% in. But not winning headers against people that are 2 foot smaller than you, that's not really good enough. I might be exaggerating with 2 foot, but 1.5 foot to a foot smaller, and you've got the size that you have. You should be winning them headers, to be fair. Malik Chow.
Apart from the first goal, I thought he was exemplary. And even when he did make mistakes, he had the pace and the wherewithal to get back and cover it. I mean, it happened a couple of times. Yeah. But generally, I thought he had a really good game. So, despite one of the goals partially being his fault, I'm going to give him a 7.5.
7.5. I've gone 8. But again, similar to you, Billy, I thought he was outstanding yesterday. First goal aside, when he did make that little error and he got turned, he was literally 5 yards behind the Brighton striker, and by the time this Brighton striker got to the 6-yard box, he had covered the ground. His pace was incredible to get back, and I think it eventually got. I think it was a bit of both. It was Chow and Botman coming across that eventually it went out for a corner, but some of the stuff he's doing on the ball is fantastic. His passing range is there alongside Sven Botman. Very excited to see where Chow can go while he's at Newcastle. Martin Suter's been with us for 17 months as a member. Thank you, Martin. Hello, all. Is it worth dipping into free transfer market for a left back? Seems to be a target every game. Not that I blame Burn. He just isn't a left back. Well, we were supposed to be interested in Loddy not long ago, weren't we? A couple of weeks ago, in fact. But that seemed to die a death and disappear. There was no follow-up on that. So I'm not really sure what happened with that, but I would. I honestly would. Is a Roman Loddy better than Burn at left back, Billy? I would say so.
I think so, yeah. But have we got space in our squad to do it? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. I think somebody
We've got about 500 goalkeepers, ain't we? So
there lies the mistake. Sven Botman, Billy.
Yeah, I do blame him for the second goal because He's gone over to cover Dan Bird, didn't need to.
Yeah.
And left the space for Welbeck to slot it in, but generally he was okay. I think him and Chow got a fantastic partnership going, and it'd be great to get them playing where they haven't got to babysit the fullbacks. I'm going to give Botman a 6.
I've gone 6.5, Billy. Again, similar reasons to you. I don't think Botman was his very best yesterday, by the way. I think he...
No, I don't.
There was a couple of... But, I mean, we say he wasn't at his best, but is that because he's been, like you say...
100%.
He's very, very wary about left back, and he's coming across to cover the position because he just simply doesn't know if Dan Burn is going to get there or he's not going to get there. And I think that's causing a problem with him. If he had a left back there like Lewis Hall, I don't think we'd see Botman as far across as he is.
I agree.
Because he knows that Lewis Hall 8 out of 10 times is going to win the ball. So
I mean, he had a whole season of doing that when we first qualified for Champions League, when Dan Burn played left back virtually the whole season. I mean, he should be used to it, but I mean, yesterday he just made the wrong choice on 1 or 2 occasions.
Indeed. Guys, don't forget, top left-hand corner is a QR code. If you're interested in TTR merchandise, just use your mobile phone, scan the barcode, and it will take you straight to the website. There's some great stuff on there. It has been trimmed right down as well, so the popular stuff is still there. So please do have a look. Right, Tonali, Billy.
Yeah, I think since the Brighton game where we lost to Shane Ferguson's hat-trick 2-3 seasons ago, that is his worst game for Newcastle. Just didn't seem to have the energy that he usually has. Didn't get involved in the game. Was totally outplayed by Belieber and Ruta and Ayari in the middle of the park for Brighton. I'm going to give Tonali a 5.
5. I've given him a 3. I can't actually believe I've given him a 3, Billy, but I can't give him any more because he just didn't impact the game at all. I thought he was... Like you say, that's not the Tonali that we know. Now, there could be many different reasons for that. Many different reasons, because there was rumours that he took a knock for Italy. And to be honest, Eddie was asked that in the press conference as well, remember? And he said, we haven't seen him yet. He's coming back today, was Eddie's answer. So he wasn't at it. He wasn't the normal Tonali that I've seen all season and been scoring 9s and 10s every week.
Absolutely not.
And it pains me to give him a 3. It absolutely kills me. But I can only give him a rating on what I saw yesterday and what I commentated on. And I thought he was awful. He had a terrible game. Bruno, Billy.
Well, out of the 3 that started, I thought he was probably our best midfield player. I thought once Belieber went off, he really came into himself, strangely enough, and got better as the game went on. But before that, not great. So I'll give him a 6.
I've gone 5.5 for Bruno, Billy, because how many opportunities does he need to score a goal? And I know he scored a goal against Forest, don't get me wrong, but if you look at the amount of chances that Bruno's had this season to score, he's missed an awful lot of chances. And
I think he's trying to be too clinical with that one.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he manufactured it was fantastic, to be honest. And then,
I mean, he kept his cool, didn't he? He kept calm, made the 2 Brighton defenders bite, and then all he had to do was put it in the corner, but I think too precise. But if you look at the chances that he's had, could well have changed the amount of points we've got this season, as with the others who've had opportunities, by the way, and haven't scored. I'm not just signalling Bruno out for that, but if he can add goals to his game, I mean, come on, Joe Linton, Billy.
Yeah, tough one to score this one. How high do we go?
Well,
I'm going to give him a 2. I'm going to give him a 2. The first 5 minutes was okay, but after that it was just prolific. Passing the ball from the left-hand side, near enough on the halfway line, to the middle of our defence where there's only a Brighton player standing.
Yeah.
Says it all for me.
I mean, look, I get it. I've gone 2 as well, Billy. There was nothing in Joe Linton's game yesterday. I mean, I remember you after round about 6 or 7 minutes.
I said it, didn't I?
You made a comment that, Joe Linton looks really up for this game. You were excited to see what Joe was going to do, and then after the 10 minutes, it was just non-existent. And Eddie's, I think Eddie has to take him out now, Billy. I genuinely do, because if you're going to keep a player in there who is not performing as consistently not performing as Joe Linton, what message is that sending?
Well, we've got players that can step into that place now, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
You know, Ramsey's chomping at the bit as far as I can see, and Lewis Miley's certainly, you know, playing pretty well at the precise moment in time. So both deserve to be starting, really.
They kicked him a few times, to be fair. Yeah, but how often have we seen Joe Linton kick the shreds in a match, but he kicks them back? And we're not seeing that at the minute. He's cutting a very frustrated figure, if anything.
Do you know what I thought about him? I thought, well, I'm here to help Dan Burn, and I can usually do that, but with the pace that Jan Kibbe Minty's got, I'm not sure I can. So he didn't get involved at all.
Yeah. Alanga.
I'm not giving you any points because he was fucking awful. Didn't deserve a point.
Nil point.
Nil point, and it was as bad as anything we ever saw from Sean Longstaff, if not worse.
Yeah. Mine is a nil point as well. I can't score him. By the way, I mean, there's a couple of scores coming in for 2s and 3s. Can you tell me why you've scored him that highly? Tell me what he's done to deserve a 2 or a 3, because I don't know. I mean, is that just genuine sincerity to the player? Because
sympathy votes, maybe. I don't know.
Is it sympathy votes? Steve C says I give him a 2 for getting subbed. Well, I mean, there you go. I mean, fair enough.
I generally give him a point for getting the boots on the right feet. I'm not convinced that Anthony Anger did get his boots on the right feet yesterday.
Well, not when we broke that 4 and 3. He certainly didn't have. I mean, Mark Cooper's gone -2. That's the first minus I've seen of the season. Because he tried and wasn't shit on purpose. Yeah, but that still doesn't. I mean, points for trying. Are we not fed up with giving points for trying now? I mean,
in that case, we'll go on the pitch and play. We'd try. We'd do what we could. We'd be dog shit, and we'd let beat 19-0 every week. Yeah,
but people also say I'll give him a 9 for dying on the pitch.
Well, maybe not. I won't go that far.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
Me and you, Billy. Yeah. Ian Fleming, a member for 38 months. Thank you very much, Ian. I find it fascinating how people have very different opinions about players' performances. You would think they were watching different games. It always crops up in the player ratings. I just don't know how anyone can score him yesterday, because he didn't do anything right. I'm baffled. I'm baffled
why we signed him, because, as I said when we signed him, he's a counter-attacking winger, and we don't play counter-attacking football. And for a certain extent, you can say the same about Big Nick, because he doesn't fit the 4-3-3 system at all. We're going to have to change the system to get Nick Voltemada more involved. And
but Nick,
no doubt about it.
Big Nick is also capable of doing something extraordinary, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Which is Alanga's.
But I do have big concerns about our transfer policy in the summer. I do. Panic buying for me.
It seems like an awful lot of money right now. But listen, I'm not giving up on him, by the way. Don't come at me for saying, a couple of weeks ago you said you were giving him a chance. I still am. I'm not giving up on Alanga. I'm marking him on what I saw yesterday. But I really hope Alanga comes good. Because if you listen to pundits and journalists who've watched him play over the years in the Premier League, he's definitely got something. But as Newcastle fans, we are questioning that and saying, well, what is that something? Because we're not seeing it. But it is still very early days. I mean, Semenyo's been mentioned a lot in the comments, Billy. I think me and you were big fans of his last season. We did mention that we would love him to play for Newcastle. But maybe the price range was obviously way out of our comfort zone for Semenyo. Some of the prices that were being banded around for Semenyo were literally ridiculous, by the way. So it didn't happen. But I hope he proves me wrong. I really genuinely hope he does. He's a Newcastle player, and I want him to do well. But are we seeing something that would make us really optimistic yet? Not quite. Anthony Gordon, Billy.
Yeah, definitely our brightest wide play yesterday. He's definitely got confidence. He's going past players with ease. He's going past the fullback with ease. I was surprised when he got taken off, I'm perfectly honest. But again, two full international games. I'll give him a 7.
7. Yeah, exactly what I've gone for, Billy. I thought he was very effective. Can he do more? Absolutely he can. No doubt about that. I'm seeing a couple of fours for him. I'm okay. I mean, people do see different games. It's quite clear. Voltemade.
Well, he was marshalled really well by the Brighton defence. And yeah, I'm going to give him an 8 for that goal because it was outstanding. Fantastic goal. Really good goal. And he maybe should have had another one after that when he kind of panicked a little bit and they were flinging themselves at his feet and all sorts. But I'm going to give him an 8 just for that goal alone because that moment of skill will live with me for a long time.
Yeah, I've gone 8.5, but exactly the same reasons, Billy. Because I think when you're a fan and you see goals like that being scored, they are the ones that will stick in your memory for a long, long time to come. And the way he bamboozled the defenders yesterday, but managed to put the ball into a place where the goalkeeper had no chance because there wasn't a lot of pace on the flick, but it was precise, and that's the difference. The goalkeeper had no chance.
He just used the pace that Marley had put on the pass, didn't he, really?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was about the pace of the pass, and it was just sensational because Miley played it across. It was slightly behind Nick, which is why he sort of did the little flick again, and we've seen it this season. So I'm excited for Nick Voltemade. I think he's fucking elite, quite honestly. And if we can play to his game, then we've got even more to come. Simple as that.
If we can put him into a system that accommodates him and what he's got, then he's going to be the sky's the limit for him, seriously. Because the sky's already the limit, and we're not really playing to his strengths, I don't think.
5 goals already. I mean, yeah. Right, substitutes. Obviously, Murphy came on at half-time, as did Miley. So, both of them, Billy, Murphy, and then Miley.
Yeah, Murphy is going to look better because of what he's replaced. And he was much brighter than Langer, but I don't think he was really still high-quality Murphy. I'm going to give him a 6. But again, it was way better.
He put better crosses in, didn't he? From
and he wanted it more, but I mean,
yeah,
it was okay.
And Miley?
And Miley, I shall give a 7 to because I thought he had a really good game. He's bulked up a little bit. He's got a couple of yards more pace. He's got the calming influence that a 19-year-old shouldn't have. He gets involved in attacking situations as well, hence his assist. There was one time he went past the player and got to the byline as well. He just looks at a 19-year-old player that's going to be something really special. Really looking forward to his how he progresses. Because so far, after a bit of an iffy period end of last season, he's coming back with fire now.
Yeah, I agree. 7 for Murphy, 7.5 for Miley for me. Murphy, I thought, did more in the first 5-10 minutes he was on the pitch than Alanga did in the first 45. He put some great balls in again, really precise crosses as well, which are again begging for somebody to get on the end of. And Miley, I mean, he just, people were questioning Miley at the start of the season, weren't they? And I think everybody needs to get behind this kid because we've got something really special in Lewis Miley. There's no doubt about it, in my opinion. And he's learning from the very best. He's learning from Bruno. He's learning from Tonali. He's learning from Eddie Howe. You don't get 3 better people to learn your game from than those right there. And I think Miley can only get better and better and better. Now, then there was Jacob Ramsey and Asula, I believe, Billy.
Yeah, I don't think Asula had that long, did he? But Ramsey certainly did.
Well, I've written down Ramsey and Asula, so we'll rate them.
Ramsey, yeah, he's bright. He's got lots of attacking intent and creativity. I thought it was okay when he came on. I'll give him a 6.5.
Okay. And Asula?
I'm not sure he even touched the ball, did he?
I don't think he did. We'll leave Asula out because he wasn't. Ramsey, for me, I've given a 7. I was impressed with what I saw from Ramsey, actually, because I do believe that he should be starting ahead of Joe Linton now. And I mean that in an attack.
Oh, Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes came on before, didn't he?
Shit, Harvey Barnes. Of course, Harvey came on. Right, well, we'll go for Harvey Barnes. But Ramsey, for me, I was impressed with what I saw, considering it was the first game back. I thought he got the ball. He brought us forward. He was getting involved. And I do think he is a natural replacement for Joe Linton if Joe Linton's form is still iffy. Rather than Miley, I think Miley plays a different position. I think Ramsey will get us up the pitch. Although, Miley got forward a lot yesterday. Don't get me wrong, he got the assist for the goal. But I think Ramsey's more of an attacking player. But to have those two, I mean, it's a bonus, isn't it? Right, Harvey Barnes, Billy.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to make a difference, but then his choices at the end of getting in good positions were downright shocking. I mean, there was one where he shot from a ridiculous angle. When
That was towards the end of the game, and you nearly had a coronary there.
All he's got to do is square it across. There's a Sulu, I think it was a Sulu stood on the near post and tapped the empty net. And he tried to shoot past a keeper who was standing on his near post. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't think he does much defensively either. I don't think he has any intention of covering for Dan Burn. I'm going to give him a 4.
A 4 for Harvey Barnes.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, I've gone 5.5. I thought he did okay, looked a threat. But again, it's like the rest of them, Billy. We need more productivity from these players. We need more final results from these players. It's all right, and even I'll say that about Gordon. It's all right getting the crosses in and stuff, but we need them to start chipping in with some goals here. And that we've seen in the past, they are all capable of scoring goals. But are they trying to be too clever or trying to be too precise? I don't know. Just welly the fucking thing is. I mean, obviously that is my high-tech explanation, Billy, and that will be reverberated around world football. That some guy on YouTube just says, welly the fucking thing. Go and do that. We'll see. Eddie Howe.
Well, with hindsight, we can see that the team selection was wrong in the first place. But we're all quite happy with it when he was picked, so I don't see we can really criticise him for that. And I thought he made his subs at the right time. So again, I don't think we have lost the game. He has been out-coached.
But Billy, is in-game decision, because surely
he made the subs when he had to, and they did change the game for us.
Yeah, but 4, 5 times in the first half before, passing through them.
Who makes change? Yeah, he could have. But at the end of the day, maybe. I don't think it was tactics. I think it was a case that the fact that Tonali's engine wasn't working yesterday. It was misfiring. He was knackered. I'm not really sure we can blame Eddie Howe for a lot of it. I'm going to give him a 6. Okay. And that's generally probably about because everyone's giving him 3s and 2s and 4s and all sorts.
You're always going to get that with a manager. I've gone 5. I've gone 5.5. I've gone 5.5. So round about the same as you, to be fair, Billy. I mean, I don't think we're far off on any player actually between our. We're not. We've gone pretty close on each player anyway. So I think we watched the game at the same time, so we saw the same thing. So look. We've got to bounce back, and we've got to bounce back well on Tuesday night. But that is it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching. I'm back at 10 o'clock in the morning with the morning news, and then tomorrow at 7 o'clock we have the preview for Benfica, and then, of course, Tuesday night, match day live against Benfica at St James's Park in the Champions League. Wednesday night, the review. And the matches just keep churning around. The live shows keep churning around. The videos will keep coming as the news comes in as well. So please do give a like if you enjoyed the show tonight. And, of course, subscribe if you are new to the channel and you like what you see. It really, really does help us. But thank you for your Super Chats, memberships. Mods, thank you. And Billy, thank you. And, of course, to you guys, a massive thank you as well. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, folks. And we will see you all again. Oh, no, hang on. Hang on, Billy. Hang on. We haven't done man of the match.
We haven't.
And you didn't remind me.
I was putting face and make it. I didn't want to ignore you and interrupt you.
Anyway, the viewers' man of the match, Nick Voldemar.
I'm not surprised.
52%.
I'm not surprised.
Chow was second on 27. I thought he'd have got higher than 27, Malik Chow. Nick Pope, 13%, and Miley, 8.
Do you know what? If we'd have put Sandro in there, he'd probably come second.
Well,
he would have.
Well, judging by his marks, I think a lot of people agreed with us there tonight, but I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But thank you for watching, guys. We will see you all again tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. Good night.
And we're the lads and lasses.
Come back and check on Sea Breeze.